I learned that you're supposed to clap when you're editing. So when you go to line up the audio and video, the audio spike is where because you could see and then you can line it up. What's up? We're going. We're talking. My homie. This is my friend Adam.
Style.
This is somewhat of a spontaneous podcast. We were here. We're working on flyers. We're working on art for our next pop-up shop that we're hosting. And we were like, hey, dude, let's just do a podcast. Because we were talking, and I was like, we need to stop what we're doing because what we're talking about, it's valuable. You know what I mean? So, first, welcome. Thanks for being here, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a squeaky chair.
It is squeaky chair. I used it earlier.
Yeah, get comfortable, bro. I find the best way is just like sitting up. Because it's weird trying to figure out where's the mic go? How do I want to sit?
I just need to commit to one.
I'm telling you, bro, that thing you had helps.
Helps you keep you up, but I like to be more
lounging.
Yeah, so it's really getting a chair.
That chair's so old. That chair's like 40 years old. So it's gonna be squeaky.
It's like, hey, ow. The wheels are tired.
Yeah. Gotta get some WD-40. So right before we started, you asked me a question. I told you to wait, and you asked me, what'd you ask me about collecting things? What'd you ask me?
Would you say you're a collector?
I would, because, I mean, those of you watching, look around. Like, if you know me, you know I have a lot of shit. I have a lot of material, whether it's that Thor figure or Buddha statues or plants. Like, there's a lot of stuff in here. You can see it. Like, even behind Adam, you can see it. So, yeah, I definitely collect shit. I find sentimental value in things. But the thing is like, I'm not attached to any of it. A lot of people who have like these weird materialistic drives are attached to like all that shit. But if it came down to it, like I love it all, but I'm not attached to it.
To some degree, though, you definitely are.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's probably something in here that I could give you a lot of money for. You probably be like, I'm holding on to that.
That is a good point.
That's the shit that really you have attachments to.
You're right, and that's crazy. I mean, I guess what I mean is I know I'm gonna die. See, this is one of the ideas that I have, and why I think I collect a lot of this shit, because I've definitely thought about this.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to break you up.
No, you're good.
But to further, are you a collectible? Because before we even get into what a collector or collecting things, like there's two collectibles. There's one that collects a specific item, different variations, shoes,
baseball cards,
or you do things that aren't maybe similar style but different designers. Like some of the stuff that you have, like the painted, the thing you were showing me over there earlier, it's like one of ones for Chop. They made for Chop.
Yeah, this King Saladin bear. Yeah,
and it's like $450.
Yeah.
But it's a unique individual item. It's not a collection of items. So I think that's more of an artistic, like how you have a bunch of different things rather than someone might have a repetitive collection of stuff.
So what was your question?
What would you call yourself? Someone that collects unique one-of-ones, or someone that you take
I just collect anything. I learned from a friend, Rocky Garza,
free-flowing collection of just whatever your eyes.
Well, this man Rocky is very talented, and if you've listened to the podcast before, I've talked about him many times because he's really is gifted. And basically in Jamaica, he ran us through his identity mapping thing where he has this unique skill where he can get to know you in just a short amount of days, or even a few hours, and like tell you things about yourself that but you haven't, you hear it in a different way. So for me, when he was like breaking me down and like looking right through me.
What's his job?
He's like a I don't want to like put him in a box and like I don't want to like discredit him. He's like a motivational speaker type figure. He was a pastor, and so like the company I work with now, he also works with them, and he's like ahead of the culture of the company. He just is incredible at
in Minnesota or something?
Yeah. He's just incredible at firing people up and like helping people tap into.
So
like,
you met him through this business, and
I met him in Jamaica, and now it's cool that we're all in the same organization doing work together. But he was breaking me down, and he was like, "You like to just collect shit."
Was he here?
No, it was while we were all in Jamaica. He hasn't even seen any of this stuff. He was like, you like to collect things, whether it's material things or information, and you like to just store it and gather and collect things because you might want to use it at a later date, whether it be a talking point or advice for somebody or even like a story.
That's a common skill you see amongst people that do things like what you do.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, you know? It's a compliment in the sense of...
For sure. It definitely was, because
so
when
he say, all right, I might be doing the right thing.
Was when he said that, because he's never met me like before that. He's never been here, seen my place in Philly and all the stuff that I have. So when he said that, you like to just collect things and gather like some form of data and just like keep it in the back of your mind, or
it's a good attribute.
Yeah. And then I made the connection to all the material things I collect, and it's like, okay. But I also think it's important to surround yourself with like things that inspire you or things that are beautiful, art. You know, obviously color is a big thing for me.
Think about people that don't do that. Think about people you go in their room, they might have a few things, not much. It's really why. I mean,
here, keep the mic a little bit closer to your face because it keeps going in and out.
Is it because of money?
No, there you go.
Is it because they just don't like stuff in their room? Like why don't they? Some people like you have a lot of things. It's because I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
You is your style, but someone might have a different style, right? So what makes that person different? Like they might walk in the room and still see happiness and like motivation.
Yeah.
It's really like showing what your style is, and some people might be like, you know, I fuck with that style, and gives them an idea of how. But that's almost like part of the system, and this chair is fucking up. Should I move to a different one?
You can. I mean, if you want to throw that back thing on, it'll just keep you from making that noise. But to answer your question,
I feel like I'm gonna have to sit like this.
It's all right. We'll figure it out. We're learning as we go with these podcasts, man. We really are. The new microphones will be here soon. You don't even have to strap it on. You can just sit in it and see if it can get it going. But this is a very rudimentary setup.
Better now. Huh?
Yeah, you might. But when you talk into the microphone, you want to make sure that
it stays real close.
It stays real close, because if you're somewhat further away, it won't pick up. It'll pick up not every word you say. It's interesting. This audio.
It is.
There we go. That's
the new ones pick up stuff farther away?
We'll see. They're specifically made for podcasting. But to go back to what you were saying, another way to describe all of this is like, in terms of, because I just love to decorate and create spaces. I love design in all forms, whether it's on a t-shirt, a canvas, or a room, a three-dimensional space. And the best way to describe it is like, all of this is what you see is like the inside of my brain. This is like the inside of my brain. So that's when I think of somebody else like our friend Wasu, who's also a creative and an artist, and his style and the spaces in the things in which he surrounds himself in are different because that's his style, like you said. So it's almost like, or even your room is sick. That setup you got, like
it's cool. I could do a lot with it. I don't do much with it, but my favorite room, not my favorite room I've ever had, but the room I'm in now, I like. But at college, I had a room where the whole left side of the wall was just shelves.
That's cool.
I had like I wore these LeBrons like 5 times, and so they were up on the shelf, stacked like they would be in a store.
Yeah.
I had like books and like memorabilia and just a bunch of shit, and I kind of felt like, and after I set it all up, I looked at it and I was like, it's kind of weird because most of the stuff on the left was from when I was younger. Then it was like my young, like teens age, and then it was like most of my high school stuff. I had like my notebook on the right hand side, some things I got when I was in Kansas on the right hand side, and it was not on purpose. It was almost like my timeline.
Yeah, your subconscious did it.
Yeah,
like we were saying earlier.
Then, so I fucked with that wall.
And
I took a picture of it. I don't know if I have it, but
that's interesting. It's like
it almost kind of put itself together. Yeah,
it is. That's cool, man. So like another thing that an idea I had when I started collecting all this stuff, because before I moved to Philly, I don't know if you remember my bedroom before I left, where it was just like OD full of shit. Like if you're listening to this, you can go on my Instagram and find pictures if you dive deep, and it's just every square inch of wall and ceiling was covered with something.
I think you had a skateboard in it behind a big thing.
There was everything.
With something in front of it.
Everything was in there. There was so much stuff in there. It was ridiculous.
I liked your refrigerator. I don't know if you still have
I never had a refrigerator in my room.
Definitely did.
Nope.
Locker?
It was like a little. It's still in there. I think
Got
what
the
you're referring
stickers all
to.
over?
Yeah. Okay. That's just like an audio case. It's like for
It was a big
stereo equipment. It looks like a fridge, but it's not a fridge. But it's good. Yeah. I mean, it's easily mistaken.
Stickers.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like when I was in that room, I was like, this would be a cool. This is like a museum, and I always thought it would be so cool to like curate
How long
something.
did it take you to dust it?
It was a lot. It was a lot. When I moved back in here, I was like, this shit has to go because there was still a lot of stuff up. So there's like a lot less in there now. But yeah, dude.
A lot of notes. Is this good now?
Yeah, you're perfect. You're perfect. I would love to someday when I'm gone, because I think about that sometimes. It's like, where's all this shit gonna go? Because a lot of it's sentimental, a lot of it's valuable, a lot of it's, like meaningful in some way. I don't know. Like, I think of like, okay, if I had grandkids, like, because I have very few things from my grandparents, but it would be cool to have something from them. I know that's
a room full of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but like that's
museum. Yeah.
But that's ego talking. Like, when I'm gone, like it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be here. But I don't know. I find me personally, I find value and inspiration in like little shits like that. Like, I don't know, but it would be cool to like maybe curate a museum installation or something with all this stuff.
I've heard that. So
or I'll sell it. Fuck it. It's like thousands of dollars worth of stuff.
Will.
Yes.
We went to Denver. We flew into Kansas City and we drove 7 hours to Denver. And it's pretty much flat the whole way, except for the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
And we get an Airbnb. It had a rooftop hotel or a rooftop pool. We get there. The guy meets us and he's like our age. And we're like, okay. Didn't know really what to expect. He walks us in. There's 2 keys to get in, the front door and then the elevator.
Yeah.
Something. We go up. He opens the door. He has like his laptop out. His like socks are on the ground. He's playing music. He's like, yeah, that's your room right there. He's like, my roommate's out for 2 weeks, and you guys can.
You were at an Airbnb of like someone who was
Denver.
Also living there still.
Yeah,
that's
hilarious. He's like, my roommate said I could rent out the room on Airbnb. So
he's playing video games.
Yeah, he was like just set up. He had a skateboard.
That's cool.
He's just center of Denver. And we're like, all right, I mean, this is fine. We're only here for a night, so whatever. So we get there 7 hours. First, he's like, I'm showering. So he goes in the shower. He comes out, and he's like, dude, we have to leave. He's like, we have to leave, man. We're going to get killed.
Why?
I'm like, bro. So he's like, I'm leaving. I'm like, what's going on? He said that there was, on the shower, there was writing all over the tiles. And it was like, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have 10,000 followers and like by 2018, like all this stuff. And I was like,
he was writing his goals down.
Right. And Will got
affirmations.
Will's like, we're going to die. We're going to die. So like, I go in there. I'm like, all right. I was like, before we do anything, I'm showering because I'm not driving 7 hours to get back in the car, drive 7 hours.
And not shower.
We're at least going to shower. So I go in there and I shower and I see what's all over the wall. And I'm like, this dude's just like got a vision or something.
Yeah.
And kind of about your room, how you set it up. Like, he surrounded himself by what he wanted. So
yes,
complements what you got going on.
I have affirmations written around here somewhere.
Right. And then this dude, so I'm like, Will, I get out of the shower. I'm like, we're not going anywhere. I'm like, at least let's at least ask him if he has a recommendation for a restaurant, because if he does, maybe we can go on our way out.
Yeah.
Because now we got shower and food. Let's go 7 hours. He's like, all right. So I ask him, hey, like, you have any good spots around here to eat? And he's like, yeah, there's a good spot down like Flea Box. And I have no bad vibes from this guy, right?
Yeah.
It's just Will's freaking out and this shit in the shower. And I'm like partial to it. And I'm like, all right, it's, kind of, I respect it because whatever. But I could see where Will's getting free, but he was going crazy. But so I don't know how it happened, but we got the guy gave us a recommendation. He's like, I'll go with you. I'll walk in with you. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Because like I said, no bad vibes.
Yeah.
So we're walking out and we're like down the 6 floors. We're walking on the street now. Will's like, bro, I got to ask. He's like, what's up with the stuff in the shower? And he's like, oh, that's just my roommate, man. He's like,
it's not even the guy. It's his roommate.
Yeah.
He's like, freaking out.
Yeah. he's like, that's my roommate. He's in like Bermuda for right now for 2 weeks.
He manifested the $10,000
with his girlfriend. Something. He had a Bentley.
Of course.
He was doing something with real estate.
Yeah.
And
the affirmations work, bro.
It was
they
just
work.
Like total change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I looked at Will just like, you stupid ass. Like, come on.
You asshole. Yeah.
So what was gonna be a shit night, Will thought. We went and got food. While we're getting food, this guy was like, yo, you guys want to go to the Rockies game? My friend's got 2 extra tickets.
It's like the Bentley, right?
Right. I'm like, sure. So we go. He's like, we got to pick him up. Or my friend's going to pick us up from the restaurant because we took the train there. And it's like a little like bus thing down the main street.
Yeah, that's how Denver works. They got little buses and shit.
And so he picks us up. He's drinking a beer. It's like in a BMW like 5 Series. It's like, you know, stretched out a little bit. And this guy's name's Nico.
Okay. Oh, my cousin Nico Bellic.
Yeah. So they were not like they weren't family related, but it was so funny. He pulls up drinking a beer. He's like, "You guys, I bet you guys want to go to the dispensary, right? You want to go to the dispensary, right?"
Of course, like, you're in Colorado.
Like, we look at each other. We're underage, so he couldn't get us stuff. So he's like, "All right, let's go." So he got us like a little bit of weed. I didn't even make it to smoke that weed. And he has the tickets for the game, so. We go back and we hang out. We take the train down to the game. We get into the game. We go up to the rooftop bar. And we're like 17 to 18. Like, we're definitely not 21. And I still don't look like I'm 21.
Oh, you were like 17 at the time?
Yeah.
It was like, what was it, freshman year of
18,
college?
Maybe sophomore year.
Okay.
18. And Will looks younger than me, if not, the same age. So we go up to the rooftop bar. He buys us tall boys and gives us to us at the ledge. So like we're literally like hanging over the ledge.
Yeah. Some sneaky
awesome.
shit.
Colorado is so beautiful.
It is.
As you know. I don't know if you've ever been to a Rockies game.
No, but I know the view is like
that
gorgeous.
Rooftop bar.
You can see the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah. So you'll probably be there one day.
Yep.
It's fun to go.
I'll be in Denver in 2 weeks.
Right. There you go. The no fans though. So unfortunately.
It's okay.
But we go up there, we're pretty drunk, like 2 tall boys like elevated in the mountains.
Literally, your oxygen levels are all fucked up.
So the game's over. They won like 21-3. They had like 7 home runs, which is like a baseball fan's dream.
Yeah.
We go down. And he's like, "We're going to this bar. We're going to this bar." I'm like,
"You got a party?"
We're not 18 or we're not 21. He's like, "We'll see if my friend's working here." And like, Denver bars are pretty big, and they're nice and
they're pretty big. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not like little like small bars like college town. It's got big bars, and we go up to the bar door. Sure enough, he knows the guy. Nico
walks right
in.
in.
Nico, I feel like knows every guy.
Yeah.
He could get you in any door.
If your name's Nico and you drive a BMW, you know every guy.
Yeah. So he gets us in the door.
An Adidas tracksuit.
I ordered I got milk stouts, which I loved when I was out there, but I haven't had one since that. I don't know if I was already drunk as fuck.
Is that just beer with milk in it?
I really don't know what it is.
Okay.
It tastes good.
Yeah.
Kind of tastes like Guinness, but I don't know. The one out there will just taste like chocolate milk, dude. And I was just chugging it. It was amazing. And the last thing I remember at that bar, well, Will left.
Where'd he go?
Jacob left. Jacob left before we went in the bar. Will.
Jacob is the Airbnb host?
Right.
Okay.
Will, and he has got the keys.
Of course he does.
Will leaves after Jacob on the train or something just because he was tired. And Nico is talking to this girl, and as any Nico would.
Yeah.
And so Nico's talking to this girl, and he ends up leaving with her. And so it's just me there, and
I'm Denver,
wasted. But it's like this bar was right at the end of the train, and like you take the train down. Like I could probably take us to the building now from there. So I knew where I was because it wasn't too crazy. Go up a block, take the train down a block. But the last thing I remember was I was walking out to leave, and this guy was shooting a basketball in like the basketball arcade thing. And he was like, "If you beat me in this, I'll buy you a drink." I was like, "All right,
bet."
I beat him, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna buy you a drink." So we go up. He's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Milk stout."
Some of that chocolate milk.
He gives me the beer. We're drinking. He's like, "So what do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a college kid." go to school in Manhattan, Kansas. And he's like, oh, that's cool. I was like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a cop here in Denver.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, shit.
No.
I was like, I forget. But when he asked me, like, what I was
great
majoring,
story, by the way.
I was like, I'm a senior in horticultural science. Like, I made sure to slip in senior before he asked me my age.
Start talking a little deeper.
And,
Yeah, that was smart.
I ended up getting his number. I said, yo, let me get your number then, because if I have any problems here in Denver, then...
Nice. Good move.
And we were so hammered that I felt no, like...
There was no bad vibes.
Right. So, sure, I still got his number, Bob Cop, in my phone. And the last thing I remember was walking out the doors. And then that was like a good moment of time where I don't remember anything. I walked into a 7-Eleven or whatever they have, asked for a pack of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
They asked for my ID. I noticed I didn't have it. So I was like, I came in for that, and then I blacked out again. Walked, and I remember laying on a bench and be like, I can't sleep here. So I decided I was gonna get a taxi. And I get in the taxi. I tell him where I'm going. He goes maybe 150 feet. This stops and lets me out. I was like, oh, fuck, man. I was already wearing...
That'll be $20.
No, I was like, how much I owe you, bro? And he was like, you don't owe me anything. I was like, the only time someone gets a free taxi.
That's hilarious.
150 feet. So I gave him $5 anyway for tip.
That's hilarious.
There's 2 keys to get in the building. So I'm like, I'm not even fucking trying. I know they're all sleeping.
What is it, like 3 in the morning at this point?
Yeah, so I decided to sleep in my car. Which is a Ford Ranger. It's super small. I get out of my car in the morning. I don't have shoes on. I don't have my license. And I don't have my phone. And I shut the door and I lock my keys in my car. So now we're stuck in Denver. Right? With none of my shit that I have. I can't drive. Can't, whatever. God. I go upstairs. I find Will. Will's like, had already been up since 8 o'clock. And he was walking around Denver looking for me.
Oh my
for about
God.
2
Where
hours.
was your phone?
Long story short, it was in a bush behind this bench that I had laid down on. But
the one that you couldn't sleep in?
Yeah, I could not sleep on this bench. And it was in a bush, and there's these 2 hobos sitting there.
There's a lot of homeless people in Denver.
And they're sitting there, and Will gets the Find My Friend thing, and he gets my shit up, and he starts singing it, and the
hobos find it.
No, the hobos are sitting there, and it's coming from like around them, and they're just like, motherfuckers. He's like, we're not doing anything this morning, and then like we're still getting the...
That's funny.
So I get it. So phone is secured. Never found my license. I think I left it at the bar, but it was closed, and no idea where my shoes went. Got AAA to get the keys out of the car. But Will was looking for me for 2 hours and gave up and got breakfast. He was like,
fuck this kid.
He'll make it home sometime, or he won't make it home at all. But
that's crazy, man.
It was such a good night.
Alcohol is a weird one. Like, that would never happen if you just like smoked a bunch of weed or ate a bunch of mushrooms.
I think I might have also smoked too, but I don't remember. I feel like I was in Denver. I probably definitely did, but I didn't smoke anymore.
Yeah, you don't remember at least. That's scary. Alcohol's a crazy one, man. But it's legal.
I can tell you I didn't smoke because...
And mushrooms aren't.
I was actually going in trouble with the cops, and I was going to court, and I couldn't smoke.
Okay.
And so I wasn't smoking then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just the first night. And then we decided to go hiking the second night. That's a whole nother story. And then the third night we went to a concert at Red Rocks.
Oh, that's sick. Who'd you see?
Slightly Stupid. And
that's awesome.
The movement was there from Philly. So that was cool.
Love that.
And I got super drunk there too.
Yeah. But it wasn't as bad.
Blackout and everything.
That's a funny story, Brent. I'm excited for people to hear that and to go back and actually listen to that, because that was...
I want to make a movie. I'm telling you, that's like one story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's like a super bad type deal.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole night of the party is the movie.
If you go to Denver and you party, I feel like you definitely have a fun time.
Yeah.
And so, but there's no movies. There's movies that people going to Vegas and partying.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would be a perfect like Denver type of...
I think so. Like a Hangover, but in Denver, but it wouldn't be the Hangover. It'd be something. It'd be
me and Will.
Yeah.
It might even be us.
Adam and Will's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. You can't do that. Bill and Ted's Excellent
Adventure. I don't
Adventure.
even know if we can rename them, but I got to start.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an idea.
I'd see that movie, dude. You have some good movie ideas. That's a good one. Because I enjoyed listening to that whole thing. people will too. But yeah, dude, alcohol is a weird one. I've never blacked out on alcohol. Never. It scares me, dude. It scares me that the idea that you can get so intoxicated that you could forget shit and then make if I woke up and had I was in my car and didn't have shoes and didn't know where my phone was and locked myself out of my car, I'd be like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
No doubt I was definitely like that.
Yeah.
But I was also the moment of like, you stand up and you just had an awesome night.
Yeah, man.
So you're still like waking up awesome spirit, and then you're realizing, wait, I don't have this, I don't have that. Oh, fuck.
And then it gets bad.
And then you turn around and get the keys so you can go drive to find your phone, and they're in the car.
Yeah. That's when the shit hits the fan. And you're probably hungover.
And you're hungover, but you're on adrenaline right now because you're realizing all the shit.
You're connecting all the dots. Yeah, in Denver.
You're already struggling for oxygen.
Yeah.
Your body's already on it. Overdrive.
That's hilarious, man. No, dude, but there's definitely been times where you wake up after a night like that.
Yeah, it's definitely scary.
You got to get that shit out of you when you're in a young age, like for sure, those first few years. But high school, college, you got to let that shit out and just experience that craziness.
The thing with, definitely. But the thing with the blacking out, though, I want to say is that, in the moment, you're somewhat cognitive of what you're doing. So it's more the fact when you wake up, you're like, all right, I think I was acting like this, but is there any moment that I wasn't? And you can't remember if that happened.
Yeah,
so
and that's where it's
that,
scary.
That doubt, fuck.
Yeah.
Someone's going to text me at some point today.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't happen because you were chill.
Yep. I've been around plenty of people who have gotten blacked out, but were also acting fools and weren't obviously they would have never done what they were doing if they were just straight sober.
I don't know though.
Crazy shit.
Yeah, I feel like the people that black out and cause a scene, is that that's a whole nother level.
Probably
blackout because just because you don't remember what you're doing, obviously you're drunk, but just because you don't remember doesn't mean you changed. Well, some people do though.
Yeah,
you want to just not break everything when you're not normally a person that punches shit.
Right. And then you do.
I've definitely seen that too. If that's kind of what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm talking about that, but one of the most prominent memories is when I was in school last winter. When I went to Philly U, I didn't go out. I didn't party. I didn't do any of that shit. I just was there to go to school and learn.
Strictly business.
Whatever. Yeah, strictly business. I mean, I had friends and stuff, and we would hang out, but we wouldn't go to bars and shit. But that's also
Were you
not
21.
Yeah, this was so I was 22 at this time. This was last February or whatever.
Manioch's nice.
Manioch's dope, and that's exactly where we went.
Right. So,
but bars aren't really my thing. But I'm like, you know what? Screw it. All the kids in the
have you ever been a drinker? I feel like you definitely drank back in the day.
Oh, definitely back in the day. But it literally it all kind of slowed down when I was so tired of waking up hungover at University of Delaware, or when I would visit friends at college or Rowan. I would go to these frat parties, and then I'd wake up and I'd literally, my eyes would open, and
you're intoxicating your body. It's not good,
dude. Hangovers are brain damage. That's straight up brain damage.
Shit.
It's not good. So I just got tired of that feeling, and plus I have always, I guess it's hereditary, where I get I don't just get headaches, I get migraines, the worst.
I've gotten migraines recently, and I don't know. I feel like I may have gotten them in the past. I didn't know how to diagnose them. I didn't know what was going on. I was just my head hurts.
Yeah. You know what helps? You know what helps with cluster migraines and headaches? Psilocybin mushrooms.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that shit. They'll prescribe you antidepressants like they just prescribed me to try to deal with my headaches. They
want to smoke cigarettes.
They gave me antidepressants to help me with my headaches. I'm not depressed. That shit fucked me up. It made me hella tired and just drowsy, and it was a weird.
Depressed?
It definitely didn't make me depressed, but I was always drowsy and tired, and it was weird. But obviously the headaches went away. But what I was saying was I would wake up not just with your average hangover, but my headaches times hangover was
my friend Caleb,
not worth it ever.
My friend Caleb, complete opposite of the spectrum. He's never gotten a hangover before.
Wow, good for him. He
Irish
probably drinks a lot. Oh, true.
Irish
it's in his blood. Yeah. He's got I think when you get
all power to him.
Yeah, for sure. That must be nice.
Yeah.
Because I definitely but
even
today
is it just advancing a possible problem?
Probably.
Because like it's almost like if you don't like the smell of a cigarette, you're not gonna smoke one.
Right. Yeah. So it's if he had like alcoholism or addictive personalities in his family, it would be easier for him to go down that path.
Yeah. Well, he could also just drink as much as he wants. He has this free pass to drink as much as he wants and
potentially black out and act a fool. That's dangerous.
But
That's potentially dangerous.
But he's lucky though, because he doesn't do that.
That's good. He knows the power.
So yeah, he's also got he's got willpower. But
don't get me wrong.
He never gets hangover, which is
don't get me wrong, dude. Like,
nice.
I'm 24. Like, I definitely enjoy sitting back and like sipping on a Manhattan or like some bourbon. Like, I enjoy it. But
I like vodka lemonade. Or no,
there you go.
Vodka water with lemon.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, or
2
like
lemons.
Tequila and lemon. Like I enjoy. I don't.
No. Yeah,
you're not gonna catch me taking vodka shots or like chugging beers. Like I would.
I'll take a green tea shot.
Green tea shot.
I've had. You ever had them?
Like a shot of picklebacks are interesting. I like pickles, so
it's super hydrating.
But yeah, I mean, I'm at a stage in my life where I haven't done it in so long. I kind of stopped just based on what I'm doing, dude. I'm on a mission, so it's it's really hard to run a business and have a brand and day trade and have a podcast when you're also trying to go to the bars every other night. Like it's hard to do that. So I just
some people do it though.
Some people do it.
So it's that. And I was thinking about this on the way over, actually. Time management.
Yeah.
How weird of a thing is that you literally have a bank of time.
Yeah.
Every day. It's the same amount. And you parse it up into what you want. It's crazy.
Yep. At the end of the day, that account is
always
empty.
Zero. So you got to make the most out of every dollar. But it's so easier said than done.
It definitely
But
is.
It's a literal bank of time.
I think, because that's something that I've struggled with in the past is like making sure I handle my time correctly and manage it well. I think it all boils down to the importance of like having like habits that serve you well. So like a nightly
creating good habits,
like nightly habits. It all starts with a nightly habit.
So is smoking a cigarette bad or good habit? Mentally, yes.
I mean,
physically,
it depends. Like so like
right.
Stephen King.
What's more important?
Stephen King said that one of the because obviously smoking gives you cancer. We know that.
Yes.
We know that. But there's also people find a cognitive benefit in it. Stephen King said that when he stopped quitting cigarettes, one of the hardest things for him to do was like write, because he would always have a cigarette while he was writing. So that was like something
attached habits to each other.
So in that case, was a air quotes good habit. Stephen King's still alive.
Right. Does he have cancer?
I don't know. But that's another thing. You could smoke your whole life and like never get cancer,
right,
and then die like 90 years old and just old age, or you could have like smoke and then get cancer and die in your 40s. Like that's crazy too.
It's like going outside without a mask on. Are you willing to take the chance? Now it's like people don't get addicted to going outside without a mask on. People definitely get addicted to smoking cigarettes though. But it's like we were saying, like, is it mentally? I mean, I have a Life magazine from like 1950 something, and in it there's 2 people playing tennis, and it says like smoke them if you got them or some shit.
Yeah.
And they're promoting cigarettes, or it says smoke them and it'll make you play better.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yep.
So I'm super straightforward.
Yep.
And it's like they
that's
were
how
making
it was.
sports with cigarettes back in the day.
Yeah, that's how they would get you to do it.
They're no doubt bad for you.
Yeah.
But what is more important in today's world, mental health or physical health? Not saying you should not saying you should neglect your body.
Yeah.
But
I think
you gotta weigh
I think it's a balance.
Your modes of
yes, we are humans and we live in these bodies, but you're not your body. You're like this ghost of a soul. Yeah, you're mind, body, spirit, right?
Yeah. I mean, if that's what you want to believe, I mean, there's if it's mind, body, spirit is, and you believe in religion, is God just the main spirit or whatever God is to you? Because if you believe in a religion, you voice crack, sorry. You probably believe in like a certain person.
Yeah.
And a certain structure to how we ended up here. And there's so many different religions.
What is Christianity? Is it the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? Is that the Holy Trinity?
Yeah.
I mean, and then again, if you're somebody like me, the Holy Trinity to me being, I'm not like religious, but I think there's a quote, I forget who said it, and it's like, all artists must find their own religion. And I think that's true about everybody. If you're an artist or not, you have to find what works for you and what resonates with you. So for me, my version of the Holy Trinity is mind, body, spirit, and the balance and connection between all three. Not because I don't think that God is outside of the individual. I think that you and me and Dexter and that tree, we're all a version of God. God is energy, a form of energy. We all come from the same source energy, that source being God, the universe, whatever. So I think one of the things that has always rubbed me wrong about religion is that, like, because I was raised Jewish, but like all of them, it's like they make you, God is outside of you in those beliefs. And I eventually came to the realization through the use of psychedelics and meditation and all of that, and expanding my consciousness that, like, oh no, everything is God. We are all God. Everything that lives and breathes and changes is God.
Instead of realizing it's perspective.
Absolutely.
Because you could have someone right across the table that's saying no.
For sure. And that's fine. That's the beautiful part about it all.
That's the craziest part.
That's the coolest thing about it all. It's like, as long as you're just a good person.
But it's the same bottle of Coke. Looking at it, that's why I saw a video of it's two people looking at the same thing. It's a bottle of Coke, and one's looking at the label,
like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and one's looking at the ingredients. And the guy in the middle is like, "What do you see?" And he's like, "The label." And he's like, "What do you see?" He's like, "The ingredients." And he's like, "Yeah, you would die for the fact that this is a label, and you would, for the fact that this is the ingredients." And they're like, "Yep." And he's like, "But it's the same thing." And it's pretty much like left and right, and you have in politics, and
I like that.
To some degree, a little bit of everything, but
it's the same bottle.
It's
man.
the same, just a different perspective of the bottle. I mean,
that's why racism is so crazy, because like, are you the label or are you like we're all the same bottle, dude? We're all the same thing.
Simulation, you said.
We're all the same thing.
And what'd you say in simulation?
Oh, the simulation.
Yeah, like the theory.
Yeah, this could be a simulation, dude. I don't know. I mean, if it is, because when I first heard that idea, I was like, it upset me, because that's a scary thing if we're living inside of some highly advanced simulator.
Yeah, I think
that's scary.
It all comes back to infinity. I always say this, because do you believe in like the number infinity?
Yeah.
Like infinity. There's levels of infinity.
Yeah.
And
infinity is so big
if you believe in infinity, then all of these theories are true.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep. If infinity is real, then that means everything. This conversation has happened an infinite amount of times in infinite universes and infinite.
Because that confuses people, though. Because
it's a confusing idea.
Because it's like, oh wait, so now there's someone in another universe talking the same thing. I mean, possibly.
Yeah, except we're like hot dog people.
Right.
Well, that's like what the theories that Rick and Morty dive into, is like different universes. Like there's a planet where everybody is just telephones, but it's like the same idea. It's like it's the same reality. It's just because of infinity. There's infinite versions of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hitting record again on the camera. These cameras, I bought a new one, but the G7X, every 20 minutes we got to stop and re-go. But we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, so simulation is possible. People not landing on the moon is possible. 9/11 being a government hack is possible. Anything is possible, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too hard to cipher and sift through all the crap to figure it out myself.
Yeah.
That's why they get away with it. Because we don't have access to information that will really tell us what happened. Right. We get filtered down levels of crap.
Yeah.
And it's just like you would in a dictatorship.
Yeah.
But it's a free world.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
I think there's always, just like there's always people who want to, like we were talking about earlier, like we were saying, like I'm not a square, so I'm not gonna fit in your. I'm a rounded square, so I'm not gonna fit in your square hole. Like just as much as there's people who are gonna want to break out of that system, there's gonna want to be people who control and oppress.
Because there's a lot of people in that system.
Because there's a lot of people in that system, and it's like. It's all money.
That square, though, if you really want to get technical, and I feel like, and use that, is there's a lot of people that are just bent outside of that square. So we were talking about how if you drive 35 and a 25, then it adds a degree to your square, so you're not a perfect square anymore.
Yes.
Mathematically.
Yes.
And so there's people that drive 35, they do other things, they're late for work, they do things, and there's degrees are like 18 degrees. That, like, the square I feel like you get up to 35 degrees, and you're still, even though you're not a square, you're still considered a square.
Okay.
You only do a certain amount of things that are really like if you're selling weed and like doing crazy shit, you're probably
cool as fuck.
An 85. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like.
Your squares are blown out of proportion.
There's not many 85s, and you have to report how you got to that level. And then that's when the IRS comes and takes our shit.
Yeah, dude.
So even when you, my point really is, even if when you think you're not a square, you're still a square, because they still got you in that group. Even though you do like, you might not drive with your seatbelt on. I don't know, something that's like, you might underage drink. You might think that's hard ass. You might smoke. Yeah, you might smoke weed when you're younger. So you're like, like I'm not a square. You know, like I don't just read books or whatever people think squares do.
Dude, books are awesome. If I'm reading books as being a square, I'm the squarest square in the world.
But
books. I think
that balances your. So you might drive 35, but you read books. So it's like, all right, come on.
I don't know. I definitely. To an extent, because I'm for sure I'm not a sheep. I'm my own individual. I'm gonna break the status quo and do shit that's different than a lot of people are doing. That's how I've always been, and that's what motivates me. And I think you're similar, where we do shit that not everybody does.
For you. Do you feel centered?
Yeah,
in your pursuits.
I do, for sure.
Because you know you could be,
not always, but right here in this moment, I do.
It's easy to get out of center.
Yeah.
That's things that definitely get you.
That's why
off tilt.
That's why I think things like practices like meditation and yoga are so beneficial, because
that's what works.
It works for me. Right. Yes. So that's what helps me kind of come back and reconnect and just, because we think we're thoughts. We wake up and we deal with all these things every day, and we start thinking about bills, and I got to take my kid here, and I got my girlfriend this, and it's like.
But I don't have to think about any of that shit yet.
Well, right, so, but like people do, is what I'm saying.
People do. I haven't been there yet, so I'm not.
Well, that's good.
I mean, I feel for people
you deal with other struggles. You wake up and you're like, I gotta, mow these lawns, or I gotta drive here, and I gotta pick this up.
Yeah.
But the point of all that is, we're going around all like, it's so rare that we just stop doing all that and just sit.
If I don't, I
can't breathe.
Eat.
Yeah.
I gotta get my shit done.
Yeah, you gotta get your bread
up. My yard's done. I got to do it. It's my mode of business I chose that makes me work.
Absolutely.
Shooting rocks off my face.
But that's just an example. Like,
right. Well, examples for all of this shit.
Yeah, the point of that is just.
Which is why you can't really diagnose life, because there's so many different walks and examples of it. It's tough to really pinpoint anything.
I think things like meditation are beneficial.
Right. That's
because they do enable at least a lot of people, including myself, to unplug from all those crazy thoughts that keep us up and guide our lives. Right. It's important to
how many people.
That's why flow tanks are sick.
Never done a flow tank with them.
You love it.
How many? I meant to ask you, and I feel like I cut you off by accident.
You're good. It's okay.
How many people do you think know that they should meditate, but they don't? So you might have
a lot, probably
30% that do in the whole population of the U.S. and 65% know they should, but they don't.
I think a good amount of people. I was one of those people for a long time until I found, because again, like meditation is so broad, but there's so many different ways to do it. And I've talked about that before. One conscious breath is a meditation.
Is smoking a cigarette meditation?
Yeah, if it connects you to the present moment.
Right.
Painting a painting is a meditation. Having this conversation is a form of a meditation. Right. Where we are here and now, and we're focused, and we're not worried about anything. I'm here now. Your mind's up somewhere else. But you know what I'm saying? Like anything that kind of brings you here and now, and where you're really not worried about past or future, you're just here. That's meditation.
It's important.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, smoking a cigarette could be one. Taking a shit is a meditation, or whatever. Like. But for me, I was one of those people where for years I was like, I really should be meditating because I know how beneficial it is, and I'm just like not. And then eventually finding the right methods, I downloaded the Waking Up app by Sam Harris. It's a guided meditation app. It's free, 28 days. If you're listening, go fucking check that out. And then just, as through that, he teaches you different methods and focal points of meditation and, how to monitor your thoughts and your feelings and emotions through it. And then I started to kind of branch off and do it on my own without the guided. And now I'm finally in there. But for years, I was
the beauty
like,
of today's world.
Yeah, absolutely,
Really,
dude. But for years it was like, I know I should be meditating and I'm not, and it's like, fuck. But we're here now, so I think it's just discipline and just setting aside 10 minutes. We think we're so busy.
10 minutes, that's it.
There's a quote. It's like, if you are too busy to meditate for 10 minutes a day, then you should meditate for at least an hour a day. Some yogi said that. Some monk. But yeah, dude, meditation's really powerful. It'll change my brain.
I don't meditate.
You should try it out. You should try it out, man. Check the app out. No, like, I'm serious. Like,
what is it called?
It's called Waking Up by Sam Harris. It's great. And
it's a what?
The app is called Waking Up.
Okay. That's what I thought you said, and I was like, by Sam Harris.
Yeah.
Is that the singer?
No, you're thinking of Sam Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam Harris.
Calvin Harris.
Calvin Harris. Yeah, true. Yeah. Either one. Sam Harris is like a neuroscientist. Yep. But meditation literally changes your brain, dude. And I've noticed that in the last few months where I'll get upset about something or I'll feel some type of way about something, and then I'll kind of step outside of that and become the observer of the thought, and then kind of get back on course.
Right.
And realize I'm not these thoughts, I'm not these emotions. Let me center myself. This is just a thought. I'm not going to identify it. And then you keep moving and like changes your brain.
Does. And there's yeah.
But it's definitely intimidating if you're someone who has never meditated or you've tried, because most people, you sit there in silence and breathe, all these fucked up thoughts are going to start coming up. All this shit that you got to deal with that you try not to deal with, it's going to come up, and like that deters a lot of people. But once you listen to apps like Sam Harris's or whatever, you learn how to kind of combat that when it comes up.
I saw a really cool video.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I was looking up monks in like Tibet.
Yeah.
I believe they were like one of the first to do it.
Okay. What, meditate?
Or like, yeah, like really like, I mean, they're
transcendental
they're
meditation.
monks,
There's tons of different ways, but probably transcendental.
Sit there and think,
Yeah.
for a long time. And it's a pot. Voice.
There's a ton of different ways of meditation.
But he said you saying that you have thoughts that come in that are like all this stuff I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Stressful thoughts that bother you.
Or not even stressful, just like
weight on
shit.
your plate.
Yeah.
Shit that's,
just random shit.
It comes in, he was saying you let it come in, you like you're saying. He was describing it almost like in like a fish tank.
Yeah.
You let it come in, you analyze it, and you let it be. Like whatever feelings that it brings, like almost like you're putting a vaccine in you.
Yeah.
Like it kind of gives you a little bit of the virus so that you don't get it, so that your body knows how to
you
fight
feel
it off.
Yeah. Okay. I got
so
what you're saying.
You bring it in, and you calculate it, you identify it as a feeling,
mm-hmm.
and you let it be.
Yeah.
Right. Just like you're saying. But
yeah.
It was it was good imagery.
Mm-hmm.
For me, and it's so true.
Yeah.
And I think some people get confused with letting it be with.
Here, bring this microphone a little closer.
Letting it be with like, oh yeah, I can totally hear.
Yeah.
And like bottling it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like letting it be. When you bottle it up, I feel like you bring it in and you bottle it up.
You identify with it.
You don't identify with it. When you bottle things up, I feel like you bring in that information, that emotion comes in.
Yeah.
And you bottle it.
Okay.
When you bring it in and you identify it and you register it as an emotion when something like this triggers you.
Yeah.
And you let it be.
Yeah.
If it happens again, then you have identified it, so you know, all right.
Yes.
Pass it again.
Mm-hmm.
When you bottle it up, you just keep bottling it up.
Yeah.
Same.
That's not good.
So meditating might be a good way to sit down, and when you have those random thoughts, because I don't know, because I don't do it,
mm-hmm.
but thoughts that come in, are they thoughts you've previously thought before? A lot of new thoughts as well, I assume.
Yeah, it's all random. Right. Super random.
But it might be things that you're bottling up.
Yeah.
So if you learn how to identify it, you let it be, and then you're not bottling it up anymore.
Yeah. One of the things, because it's a good segue. Today in Sam's guided meditation, it's the first one I've done in a few days. I've been meditating every day, but I did the waking up one today, and I love what he does because he'll have you focus on different things during different meditations, and you're just building up the skill. So today he was like, think about something about yourself or something that you did in the past that you don't like, that embarrasses you, that makes you feel like kind of icky. And I thought back to high school, to like some weird relationship I was in, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And it was like, really feel that, feel where it's coming from. And even now talking about it, like it was like the feeling was like emanating from my chest, my heart center. Right. And he was like, notice that's just an appearance in consciousness. Like that's not you. It's just an appearance in your consciousness. It's crazy. Or some meditations, he's like, think like, where is your consciousness in your body? And then if you're listening to this, try to identify, where is it? For me, it's in my head. Like I can like even talking about it now, the energy and focus is up to my head. Whereas 30 seconds ago, and I was telling you about something shitty in high school, I could feel it literally energetically in my chest. So it's just super interesting. Where like consciousness is where I wrote the quote down somewhere. I'm not gonna pull it up, but it's like consciousness is the light in which things appear. And he'll even have meditations where you sit there with your eyes open and you just kind of don't focus on anything, and it's like all of this is just an appearance.
Do you see auras?
Do I? I have. Like
tripping or
no? So, I mean, so if I stare at you
right
long enough, and you're not really moving, or if I'm not moving and my eyes aren't moving, and I'm like kind of looking at you, and I kind of gaze past you, sometimes I'll be able to see. I don't know if it's an effect from my eyes. I don't know if it's an aura, but I'll be able to kind of see almost like I guess you'd call it some sort of aura around you. I could see some kind of lines around you. I don't know if that's me seeing auras, or I don't know. Like, what the fuck? You know how you see those weird squiggles in your eyes? Like, what is that? You know what I'm talking about? When you like kind of unfocus your eyes, you see those things floating around your eyeballs, those little microscopic organisms. What is that?
I want to say I have, but I don't know the last time I'd have. So.
No? I feel like you can always do
my eyes sometimes go blurry. I have contacts, though, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm already screwed. Yeah. I touch my eye every day, twice at least.
Yeah,
that can't be healthy.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that, that group lawsuit thing that comes out on the TV and says if you've had this and you have problems,
you are entitled to
settlements. I'm waiting for that shit because it can't be healthy touching your eyes 2 times a day.
I don't know.
And people with contacts.
If you have contacts,
eyes get worse over time.
Yeah.
So, is it because you're touching your eyes every day, or is it because
I don't know. I think your body regenerates itself. I mean, if you're fucking stabbing pins in your eyes twice a day, it's probably bad for your eyes. But if you're just like glazing it, because I touch my eyes all the time. I'm itching them right now.
You're not like.
Oh, you mean when you put the contacts in and out?
Touching your eyes.
True.
And sometimes it falls out.
How about, you want to hear something crazy, dude? I don't know this person, but I heard this was like a story like 10 years ago where this lady was at a concert and her contact fell out. And somehow she found it on the ground at a concert, at a dirty, filthy concert floor. She put it back in her eye, and there was a flesh-eating parasite that got on the contact and was like eating her eyeball.
In the Amazon?
No, I don't think they host concerts at the Amazon. I don't know.
They've been cutting down a lot of trees. You don't know.
They're making venues. Yeah. I don't know, but that's crazy.
They're putting a big tent right here.
Yeah. Where do you think Burning Man came from? It was probably Burning Man or some shit. But like, yeah, dude. Yeah, contacts are weird. Would you ever get laser eye surgery? Would you rather touch your eyes twice a day or get a laser shot in your eyeball? Pick your poison.
Does it hurt?
Probably. It's a laser beam.
You got to wear those eye patches. I probably have to go in one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, it's the right eye this week.
You might.
Huh, Jim?
Yeah, it's the right eye this week. That happened to me. You know what? Getting your... You just might have to tighten up the thing.
Oh, that's fine.
So tighten up that one. Very rudimentary. Don't worry. The new microphones will be here soon. What was I going to say? We were talking about eyeballs. So
laser eye surgery.
Oh, I got my nose. I used to get really bad nosebleeds. Like I remember when we were in middle school or in the UES, I got a nosebleed so bad in the bathroom. It looked like somebody got murdered in there. and I felt really bad for whoever had to come and clean that up.
Never got nosebleeds.
I got a lot of nosebleeds, especially in the winter months. So what they do to one of the things they do to combat nosebleeds is you get your
once
nose
a month.
You can probably like once a day, honestly. In the winter times, in the dry months, you have to get you get your nose cauterized, which means they take this like long Q-tip. They take a long Q-tip with like this chemical on the end of it. And because it's like ruptured blood vessels in your nose that make them bleed, as if it's frequent as in my case, I had ruptured blood vessels, I guess.
Did you get this done?
Yes. So when you said, "Oh, it's the left eye this week, Jim," when they cauterize your nose, they have to do one nostril at a time. So
you can still smell the pasta with the other one.
Because what cauterize means is you know how like. Basically, with a chemical, they burn.
Right, chemical burn.
It's a chemical burn to seal off, the blood vessel. And if they did it both nostrils, there's a chance that they would burn through your septum, and you'd have a third hole in your nose. You have a third nostril. But yeah, that's just that made me think.
You
of
put
that.
a nice nose ring through that one.
Yeah, bull ring. We're about 55 minutes in. We can wrap it up soon, but. Yeah, man, I love these conversations so much because they're such a psychedelic, because people are gonna hear this and they're gonna laugh, or they're gonna feel triggered if we're talking about the religious shit or whatever, like, and that's really cool that we can affect. It's definitely not cool that if we trigger people, and if you got triggered listening, sorry. But
no, sometimes
it's
I
really
say things that trigger people.
It's okay, dude. Speak your truth. That's why.
But that's the beauty of it, because if they really got something they want to say, it can come on and talk about it.
Absolutely, and it sucks.
And if because like I feel like we kind of bounced around a lot, so there's probably a lot of shit that we would need to clarify.
Yeah,
maybe.
Who knows? If you got any issues,
that's like the thing with all podcasts is like
yeah,
people don't have that option to talk back.
Yeah,
so it's like.
That's
one side of the conversation. They're like, "But you didn't mention
this."
Yeah,
it's hard. It's easy. It's easy to lose yourself in these conversations. Yeah, it's easy to lose yourself.
That's why Joe Rogan does 3 hours.
That's why his latest with Duncan Trussell is over 5 hours long. It came out 2 days ago. It's 5 hours of just gold, and they get drunk. Like they're passing back Buffalo Trace for like hours, and they're like drunk, and they're smoking weed. It's an awesome podcast.
It's so amazing that there's people argue about baseball taking too long, but people are watching 5-hour podcasts.
Yep, I watched it twice.
So what the hell? Baseball's not too long, okay? No. Let that catcher go up to the mound as many times as he needs to get the science down, okay?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, it's probably the conversation that keeps him engaged versus just like watching some dude.
So watch it while the baseball game's on. And don't listen to the baseball game.
You could definitely do that.
Yeah.
I'll throw on a podcast and just work and edit video and do whatever, but
right.
Yeah, man, podcasts.
Because you don't have to watch them.
Podcasts are amazing, and if you're listening, thanks. It means a lot. This is the 7th episode, I believe, and it's already changed my life for sure. And people have hit me up and they're like, "Dude, I love your podcast. Like, I never thought about this thing this way or this and that." So we're already making waves, man. It's really, really cool. But it's definitely. Joe Rogan says, he's like, him and Duncan were talking, they're like, if we ever ran for some form of office or government, like, we're canceled, because there's like hundreds of hours of us on here just talking shit, and we've definitely said something that's canceled us already, because sometimes you just forget and you lose track, or sometimes they'll come on and they'll be too high, and like they just, you know what I mean, so it's like, or you know what I mean, so
yeah. I mean, people nowadays will blow anything out of proportion.
Yeah. So hopefully we didn't trigger anybody, because we're just trying to plant seeds and talk about thought-provoking topics and make you question your reality, and hopefully it improves your life some way or another.
Cool.
Yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Sure. I mean, I could talk all day.
I know. We'll do another one. We're an hour in.
Yeah.
It's what time is it?
10:30.
10:30. Yeah, it's bedtime.
It's bedtime. We didn't even get into like fucking movie.
It's okay. It's all right.
Art, you know.
It's okay.
There's so much to talk about though. That's the beauty.
Yeah, man. You'll be back on. Well, Adam, here, ready? We gotta play the theme song.
Thank you.
I need an actual, legit, real theme song. So
I had a song that I thought would be great for a podcast, and I can't remember what it was.
Damn. I'll have to have somebody make me one, custom one. All right, buddy. Love you, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being on the show. Mm-hmm. If you're listening, thank you. Appreciate you for being here as always. Here's to many more. First nighttime podcast, so that's pretty cool. They've all been during the day. And we'll see you later, fuckers.